Alright guys, welcome to another beer review, and I'm in a bit of a jovial mood because I got a couple of CDs in the post today. Where have they gone? They've disappeared. Well, one of them has, and I don't know. There it is. Nothing to do with the video, of course, but got Hugh Cornwell's newest album, Monster, which is a really good album actually. It wasn't what I was expecting it to be, but really nice. And there's a second disc called Restoration with some a few new versions of some Stranglers songs and some really lovely renditions. And just been listening to this before the review started. Joe Strummer 101, bit of a compilation with all sorts of stuff from Joe Strummer's solo career, including some unreleased stuff which I'm looking forward to checking out. And yeah, so I was happy to get music, and I actually got tickets, my tickets for Hugh Cornwell in Manchester in the post as well. So it's been a good day, and the day's been a lot better than my hair. What's this? What's this little 90s throwback doing there? Anyway, so that was a bit of a strange introduction. Whatever. So today we're going over to Mikkeller San Diego, and we're looking at a can of the awful Gato. And I think that's a play on words of the coffee liqueur affogato or something like that. I've forgotten what it is. But yeah, I want to get into me sort of like liqueurs. Do you know what I mean? Because you get a lot of those sorts of flavours in some of the darker beers. So good mixology as well. Do you know what I mean? Not that I need to have any other alcohol, because I drink probably a bit too much beer, to be honest. But yeah, so I'm really intrigued by this one because it's a style that I'm not usually a fan of, and that's the brown ale. But yeah, this is an imperial brown ale brewed with vanilla and coffee, clocking in at 8.9% ABV. And Keith Shaw's artwork is absolutely fantastic, as always. Plus, it's got a cat on it, so I'm morally obliged to give the beer a try. And speaking of cats, I have found myself getting bombarded with suggested videos on Facebook of like really uplifting cat videos, and I don't know if I'm pregnant right now because I've been eating a hell of a lot, and I've found myself almost crying on a daily basis with tears of joy when I watch cat videos. And yeah, so I don't know, it might be that time of the month, but ill will sexist jokes out of the way, you know, I'm only teasing. Yeah, so if it's got a cat on it, then I'm trying to think of something that rhymes with cat on it, but I can't think of anything because I'm not clever at all. But yeah, so it's an Imperial Brown Ale with vanilla and coffee. So I'm interested to see how this goes. Got this from the Mikkeller Beer Club box for October, and yeah, so really intrigued to give it a try to see what I think of it. So anyway, let's actually get on with the review because I'm annoying myself. So I don't know how people have actually pressed that subscribe button, but I do appreciate it. And I don't know if you can see that without me tipping it. Look how look how filled that can is. Look how full that glass is. Glass can. I've not even had a beer today. I'm drunk on music, I suppose. But yeah, that is a very, very generous fill from the Mikkeller San Diego boys and girls. So let's see what we get with this one. Well, it's very oily on the sides, that's for sure. So here we go. So yeah, the brown ale just it's never really appealed to me, to be honest. In some of the various renditions that I've had of the style, from just like the standard American sort of brown ale to, I don't think it's the same, but like a classic British brown ale. But then some of the like flavours, what was it that I had recently? It was the Cigar City oatmeal raisin, which I think was a brown ale as well. which was, it was all right, but it didn't really grab me. So I'm hoping that the vanilla and coffee will help me enjoy this beer a little bit more. Why I broke into an absolutely horrific Geordie accent, I will never know. But will I even keep this video online? Probably. But yeah, beer in the glass then. And that to me, I don't know. It's not jet black because you do get some really nice ruby tones coming out from the bottom of the glass. But it is fairly dense looking. And beer really didn't pour with any sort of head at all. So it's got that sort of like coffee liqueur look to it. Do you know what I mean? Because it wasn't really pouring too thick, but there is a little bit of a girth to it. But yeah, it looks really nice in the glass. Lovely lacing. Nice alcohol legs as well. So let's see what we get on the aroma. And that is a very dense, brown, cakey aroma. You definitely pick up that vanilla, and it's mixing beautifully with that coffee. It's almost got a sort of like amaretto vibe about it. Or like one of those amaretti biscuits. Is it amaretti or is it amaretto? Is amaretti the actual liqueur? I can't remember, but you know what I mean. The little biscuits that you get with coffee. So yeah, it's very cakey, it's very desserty, it's very dense as well. It's not like a bright, vibrant, sugary sweetness. It's like a really nice, brown, cakey, dense, chewy. Descriptors are going everywhere today. It's like a really dense, underbaked, like cinnamon cake or something like that. I get a little bit of like cookie dough vibe about it. But yeah, it smells really good actually. So let's see what it tastes like. Cheers. That is very strange. Because on the nose, it's all about this freshly baked goods sweetness. But it's actually quite a savoury beer. And it's almost got like a Rauch beer element to it. I'm getting loads of like charred beef in this. Like the burnt ends of like a steak that's been cooking in the oven. There's a little bit of spiciness in there as well. That coffee is just singing in this beer. I think people get this misconception of when they add coffee. It's like you've got a coffee with milk and sugar in it and you taste it and then people get a bit disappointed. This to me is like, it's cold brew coffee with really good quality coffee beans that hasn't been sweetened. Because you're getting this lovely sort of nutty, spicy earthiness. And then there is a slight sweetness. It's more on the intake of the beer. But after that little burst of like vanilla, it just goes to like charred beef, coffee, smoky, roasty goodness. And yeah, there's a lovely, quite evident hoppy bitterness in there as well. Yeah, it's not what I was expecting to be, and it's actually worked in the beer's favour. Because as I said, not usually a fan of this sort of beer, but the coffee is the star of the show, and I can definitely see why they've named it after that coffee liqueur, which I can just not remember. It's like affogato or something like that. I really need to like read about alcohol and broaden my horizons, because you know, this would be absolutely beautiful sort of like poured over like vanilla ice cream. Do you know what I mean? It's got that sort of like flavour to it where it would complement something nice and sweet. And if you were so obliged to do so, you could do a really nice beer float with this, because it's got the sort of like robustness of a stout, and it's almost got the inclination that it's been barrel aged, which I know it hasn't, but that those woody, earthy, savoury tones are really added so much to the beer. And it's a sipper for sure, but the alcohol is masked really nicely. Yeah, that's absolutely lovely. It really, really is. It's a fair bit better than I was expecting it to be. I mean, not that I was expecting not to like it, of course, because I've come to really fall head over heels with Mikkeller San Diego, and I think they're doing an absolutely fantastic job. And this is another really awesome little beer, actually. I say beer, it's 8.9%. Say beer, I say little beer. It's 8.9%. But yeah, I could definitely see where they're coming from. It's got that sort of like coffee liqueur character to it, and it's a really clever beer, actually. And yeah, I mean, you could even braise steak in that, and that'd be phenomenal. But that would be a very expensive braised steak if you were to use a beer like that. But I actually really like that. It's still not like a luxurious experience for me. That being said, people who like this sort of beer, you're gonna adore it. So I could definitely see this being high on people's lists of enjoyment. But for me, I think it's a lovely beer. It's going to take me a little while to drink that, and I'm going to enjoy each and every sip. So, and as someone who likes sort of like smoky, meaty, savoury beers, it's ticking the boxes in that regard. For me personally, I might like a bit more density in the body. But that being said, it's not a thin beer at all, and probably to style, even on the imperial side of things, the body is probably, you know, bang on. But yeah, for me, there's just something stopping it from being absolutely wonderful beer. It's a really nice beer, but there's just something slightly holding it back. But again, I could see people falling in love with this beer. So in terms of a rating, I'm still going to give it an 8.5 out of 10, which is still a really good score. And yeah, Mikkeller San Diego are just knocking it out the park. They really, really are. And yeah, if you're interested by any of these beers that I've done from the Mikkeller Beer Club or Beer Mailboxes, referral link is down below. You do get some really nice whales in there. Highly recommended to give it a try. And yeah, so I've got quite a few Mikkeller San Diego reviews on the channel. If you'd have asked me this time last year, I would have probably said, oh, maybe once in a blue moon, a beer from America, like Mikkeller San Diego and The Vale, and, you know, Tired Hands and all these wonderful breweries that we're getting a bit more exposure and experience with. So yeah, it's a real treat to be able to try these sorts of beers, which I would probably not really have the access to if not for signing up for the likes of Mikkeller Beer Club. So yeah, I've got a nice playlist of Mikkeller San Diego reviews down below. Do check them out, as well as my Mikkeller playlist. I know Peter from Master of Hoppets did a review of this one, which I need to watch properly. I think I watched it this morning. I'd been awake for about 5 minutes, so went in this ear, went out that ear. Get the guns out. But what the hell am I talking about? This is an absolutely horrendous review. I do apologise. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10. I'll put Peter's link down below as well as any of the friends and fellow beer tubers who have reviewed it. Check out Mikkeller, check out Mikkeller San Diego, and more importantly, I hope you'll join me next time for another beer review. And I'll be able to concentrate a little bit more, hopefully. Probably not. Who cares? Bye bye.